First of all, if you go back and just try to see the impact on earnings and then the positioning. So on the earning front, in my opinion, the market was expecting before war situation that the growth will be closer to mid-teens.
Okay. Now, I want to understand from you, how should investors read this market? How should they be invested in this market in terms of their asset allocation, in terms of their investment horizon? Would your messaging to the investors be? Hello, investors. Welcome to Moneynomics by Axis Mutual Fund. I'm Shalini Gautam, and I have with me our head of equity, Shreyash Devalkar. Today, Shreyash will be talking to us about the recent developments in the Middle East, the way the conflict has been playing out. Where does he see pockets of opportunities, and how does he look at valuations in the market? So, Shreyash, let's begin with the conflict. It keeps evolving on a daily basis, but on a broader, little, medium-term outlook, how do you see this conflict playing out, and what is your reading on the markets?
Sure. As everyone is tracking on a daily basis, there are certain developments which keep on happening. What you keep on watching as a market participant in this is the crude oil prices level. That becomes really crucial because there it actually that is a market, I would say that indicator which suggests the intensity of conflict as such. So we are watching it closely, definitely. Uh, the repercussions of this conflict, one need to understand that this has created supply side shock as such. The similar supply side shock earlier was, but to the larger extent, but it was during the COVID times. And we have seen that what are the repercussions of this. This is further, apart from the COVID related issues at that time, whatever they were, here there is a geopolitical issue, the supply shock with a geopolitical issue. Now, with this geopolitical issue, there is a lack of free flow, the way we call it, of labor, money, right, and goods. So all these three affects various parameters. So one angle is, yes, it creates inflation because of that. It also impacts interest rates. It also impacts the flow of money, right? So that's where this geopolitical tensions which started over last 5-6 years, it has started disruption in all these three, because of which you are seeing disruption in multiple areas. Its repercussion on market is, there is a trend definitely towards defense spend. There is a trend towards manufacturing in your own country. The more self-reliant countries, the better. So these trends which have started over a period of time, I think they will continue. And this crisis post-COVID, again, the reasons were different at that time. This actually further accelerates that process. So that's how we are looking at it from the investment point of view.
The earning season has begun. So, how do you see the companies being impacted by the conflict? Any numbers that you think are coming out which are better than expected, or how do you see this conflict, heading into the earnings numbers?
Uh, this earnings season, Jan, Feb, March, the impact was only for a month, if any. And obviously, it would have been towards the latter half of the month than the first part of the month. Uh, we must have heard about many companies coming out with press releases regarding gas availability. Some companies, actually, if you look at, especially in the CV, what we have seen is, in the CV number, there was a impact which was seen in the March CV numbers. Barring this, there is no commentary so far we have seen which indicates that this scenario has affected the demand per se as of now. But obviously, we should watch this result season keenly, in which, more than the results, in the commentary, companies will start talking about how it is panning out for them on both count. One is from the whether the supply side disruptions is going to affect their manufacturing, because already companies have inventory. So I don't think that it would immediately impact them, and how long it it progresses, it also has an implication on that. So in my opinion, the commentaries by the company during this result season will be very important from the point of view of impact on both demand as well as production in the month of April and onwards.
Valuations have corrected notably. I think most of the indices are below the long-term averages. So, how are you looking at positioning in your sectors? How are you deciding on the positioning? Has anything changed for you?
Uh, First of all, if you go back and just try to see the impact on earnings and then the positioning. So on the earning front, in my opinion, the market was expecting before war situation that the growth will be closer to mid-teens. Uh, in my judgment, there would be some earning cuts in this based on the commentary as such. As far as stock prices are concerned, they have reacted a lot. So, same pattern we have seen during COVID times as well, just to draw a parallel. The stocks corrected first, and then the earning impact started, and that earning impact didn't have much impact on the stock prices. So from that point of view, the positioning as such. So what we are trying to find out is what are the opportunities the market is throwing up. Definitely, the stocks which are going to get affected if this conflict continues for a long period of time, the most, and that market has already shown in last one month movement. So at a peak of fall, market was down somewhere around 11%. But during that time, the stocks which were directly impacted because of crude, especially, or supply constraint, those stocks actually corrected more than 15-20%. So we are trying to find out opportunities definitely in those, trying to take a view on how long this development affects the supply side. Uh, Again, day by day you get conflicting news flows on it, and according to the crude prices moves up and down. Probably one need to go with the best case assumption now for at least some near term, that crude may remain elevated upwards of 80-90s. So with that kind of assumption, we are trying to look at the opportunities in the market.
Okay. Now, I want to understand from you, how should investors read this market? How should they be invested in this market in terms of their asset allocation, in terms of their investment horizon? Would your messaging to the investors be?
Uh, because of multiple events over last 2-3 years especially, uh, and it was also because of the valuations were higher earlier. There was AI trade, multiple such things happened, and because of it, the net outcome is the markets have consolidated a lot since September 24. uh, at the same time, there is earning growth during this point in time. So in my opinion, especially in the large cap space, the valuations are reasonable. In mid and small also, we have seen a lot of correction stock specific. So slowly the valuation argument is getting in favor. I would call out that broadly in the large cap space, but in mid cap space also individual stocks are showing that sign that the valuations are reasonable, not everywhere. So considering this, definitely one should look at the investment in equities. Um, Always the timing part, we have been always saying that it is difficult for anyone. So the SIP and the systematic investment has always helped investors.
Thank you, Shreyash, for your insights. And a big thank you to all our investors. It is very important to remember that during such times, it is very important to stay disciplined and to stay invested.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.